Well, the Great American Smokeout is coming up, and we're going to learn more about quitting smoking and not vaping. Joining us today, she is the health educator with Putnam County Health Department, Sarah Encia. And thanks for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's talk about vaping, because sometimes we think that's a better alternative than smoking, but smoking and vaping, both bad, right? Both bad.
So there are 7,000 chemicals in a lit cigarette. How many are in a vape? We're not sure yet. Depends on the vaporizer. So an electronic cigarette, or vapes as a lot of people call them, is a device that's a battery, and then it also contains a liquid. And the reason why they call them vaporizers, because the electronic cigarette, the battery causes a vapor. That's what people inhale. And then those can either contain nicotine or tobacco from a tobacco leaf. So sometimes it's synthetic nicotine made in a lab, but both are harmful.
All right, yeah. I mean, because vaping is kind of new, isn't it? So that's why you're like, not sure about all the stats, but we know enough, right?
We know enough that as far as the harmful effect of nicotine alone, when you inhale it, it hits your brain in 11 seconds. And because it's so fast, whatever you were thinking, doing, feeling, that quickly ignites that habit. And so you're continuously, the habit's feeding the addiction's feeding the habit, but also it impacts heart rate, blood pressure, memory, blood sugar, which people are always surprised by.
So, but smoking a cigarette does similar things, right? So don't try either.
so don't try either if you're a young person, which 90% of current tobacco users started in their teens.
Whoa. Okay.
So it is something that we do see, and a lot of the young people aren't sure if they're bad because the adults aren't sure. And so for those that are already addicted to nicotine, whether they are teens or adults, there's support out there.
I think when, the e-cigarettes and the vaping came out, we always thought that was a better alternative, but don't switch, just quit everything, right?
Yep, don't switch, just quit. A lot of people think it has less harm, so I'll go ahead and switch, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of health impacts. So
can it be used as a tool, though, to stop smoking or not?
I spent over 15 years as helping people quit tobacco as a tobacco cessation specialist, and really a lot of them ended up going right back to the cigarettes or ended up using more, because one of those disposable pods can be just as much nicotine as a pack of cigarettes.
Okay, wow.
Yeah,
that's a lot. All right, so let's just kind of quit. What are the tips then to stop vaping, to stop smoking, to get healthier?
Absolutely. And so first tip for anyone would be to reach out to their doctor. So reach out to their physician, because nicotine can impact some of those things we talked about, blood pressure, blood sugar. So if you're on some medications, your doctor's going to want to know, and maybe even adjust if you quit completely, which is great, but your doctor would want to know. So also medications, so quit age, sometimes prescription medications, sometimes things like the patch or the gum can be really helpful in reducing those withdrawal symptoms, make your quit easier.
All right. So I assume also support, and the Buckeye State has Quit Line and things like that. Tell us about some of the support that we can get.
Absolutely. And so 1-800-QUIT NOW is going to be the state tobacco line. So calling that, they'll be able to help out with things like patches and gum. So if people financially have a need for it, sometimes it's also provided through your insurance, but the coaching support of being able to talk through with someone can also be really helpful. And then if they're under 18, My Life, My Quit, which is mylifemyquit.com, is actually a texting support. So teenagers who would prefer not to speak on the phone can actually text and get support for quitting.
Now, once people quit, I've heard in the past that there's benefits right away, that they start feeling better and breathing better. So, I mean, you can reverse some of it.
Absolutely. There's short impacts, but also long-term impacts. So if anyone, even if they're not sure if they can do it, when I was coaching, I would always recommend to people, give it a shot. That's why it's nice about the Great American Smokeout on November 20th, is if you try to quit, maybe it's a practice run. Maybe you're not telling yourself forever, but maybe you're saying, let me work with my doctor, come up with a plan, figure out my habits, and mainly my why. What is my main reason to do this?
And if you want to quit, keep trying, and that's you can work. It'll do it.
Absolutely. And the main reason is for quitting is going to be the key for people.
Right. Very good. Well, Sarah, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, don't go away. Noon Edition continues in a moment.